Hey, hello everybody. How are you? Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that you're going to be joining me today. Let me know when you get in your seat that you are here. Say hello to me. Give me some hearts, some love. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm always looking forward to being with you guys, and it's been a while. We didn't do coffee with Kathy last Saturday, so I missed seeing your faces. Yes, I hope you missed me also. Goodness. Boy, it's cold here in North Carolina. Hey, Chrissy. Hey, Wendy. How are you? Oh, thanks for the hearts, guys. Love those, love those, love those. We're going to wait just for a minute. I have to tell you, hey, Kim. Hey, Erin, you're here. Yeah. I have to tell you, while I was eating breakfast this morning, I love reading magazines. I love reading, period. I'm such a, I just grab everything I can. I used to read the boxes of my cereal just to have something to read. My mind is always that type of engagement, etc. Hey, Hillary and Dawn, Tamara and April and Kim and Leilana, hello. Amanda, how are you, girl? Amanda and I had such a wonderful conversation yesterday. Girl, you inspired me. You inspired me. I have to tell you, you just have no idea how you're going to move forward, and just your heart and your willingness and everything. Hey, Kelly, I don't want to hear Florida. We were 37 degrees this morning, Kelly, here in North Carolina. It was so cold, so cold. Yep. But anyway, so back to this magazine. So as I'm eating breakfast this morning, don't you love reading, and aren't you inspired by the stories of individuals, especially in our line of work, that, those that have reached the top, I love their stories. I love Heidi and Brian's story. When I was in Pampered Chef, I love Doris Christopher's story, and I'm very inspired, but I'm also inspired by those that are on a journey to get to where their goal is. So in this particular article, I love that this guy, his name's Brian Underwood. He watched his high school basketball coach go into direct sales. And so at 20, he got hooked and became a distributor. And I love his quote, "It's better is the journey, it's not the destination." I love that. Better is the journey, it's not the destination. Because, guys, no matter what we're attempting or trying to achieve, it's always a destination. And so we never want to compare ourselves to anyone else. Yes, we want to maybe grab onto the coattails or link arms with someone that, has a similar, has had a similar opportunity, a similar lifestyle, family dynamics, unit, etc. However, we want to use our own measurements to create our own feeling of success. I think that's so important in a direct sales business, where we don't show up in an office. We're not having that water cooler chat or anything like that. So I want to really make sure you guys are, feeling that each and every day. So, hey, Cynthia. Hey, Jill. Love to have you here. And Missy, oh, you're so welcome, Missy. I love that quote also. I'm always, wanting things to fill my love tank. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to go over to my notes, because I want to make sure that I keep this within 30 minutes. And if I don't have notes, I'm all over the place. I have the attention span of a gnat. Everybody knows that, and my teachers used to tell me that also. Okay, so guys, today we're going to be talking about in-home bookings and how important they are, and how just one booking can change, it can change the course of your business. And we're going to talk about the day-to-day tactical piece of always looking at your personal calendar. And then, of course, what happens if your calendar isn't full, right? Well, I want to first start with a story. And listen, guys, I've had 3 cups of coffee, so I'm going to try and slow down. All right. So I want to start with a story. So when my husband Dean decided to move our family to a small town, it was a small town in Oklahoma. It was, he wanted to pursue his dream of teaching at a small Christian college. And you know what, guys? I had no idea how hard it was going to be to get my direct sales business restarted. And that's why I'm always offering you opportunities. Get on my calendar if you're moving your business, because I've done it actually twice. So going back to that little town in Oklahoma, I was launching it in an area where no one had money. And so to get people excited about a $10 scraper, let alone outfit their kitchen with a $400 set of cookware, it was difficult, if not impossible. So what I did is I did tons of vendor events. And Amanda and I talked about this yesterday, going and doing vendor events. Because what happened is, even from those vendor events, I had parties where people would cancel because no one wanted to come. And guys, there were many times that, again, I could have quit. Absolutely, I could have quit. But at the end of the day, I knew the importance of having a vision. And we're talking about that over in the Aspiring Leaders Group program. I believed in the mission of my company that I was with back then. And I knew the business. I knew the opportunity that I was bringing to Bartlesville was going to be huge. And in the beginning, I had to tell myself that if I heard just one more no, remember the power of no, you go for the no. If I heard just one more no, that more yeses would come. And sometimes, guys, let's be honest, it's just about having that vision for your business and believing in it so strongly that you can push through. And that's a phrase I want to be starting to use now as I'm rolling out my regional trainings and as I'm training you guys. I want you to think about those two words, push through. I don't know if you guys are excited about this, but I always am when I train new consultants. A lot of people have not heard of Lemongrass Spa. So we're a pioneer in a lot of cities and a lot of towns. Embrace that. Get excited. You're the new kid on the block. That's what this company, we are launching a new product line because of our spring launch, right? We're the new kid on the block. We're that new store, that new restaurant where everyone gets excited to learn more about it. And I have to tell you something. This is what I was sharing with Amanda yesterday. There is no other direct sales company that offers what we do. We offer hands-on experiences like hand spas and facials. And yes, there is other companies that offer makeup and they call them makeovers, but we offer hand spas, we offer hands-on facials. Think about this, the customer gets to experience with their friends, and then they take that experience, those techniques that we teach hands-on, right, into their homes and they duplicate it. So those are all teachable moments. They leave with teachable concepts and techniques. And for those of you that you might be starting to think about recruiting, about forming a team, good for you, because you should be telling your friends this rocket ship is going to take off with or without you. So you might as well jump on, because this market of health and wellness, it is booming. It's going to continue to boom, and the opportunity is going to be huge. And we know Lemongrass Spa, it changes so many people's lives. So back to my time in Bartlesville, even when it was hard, I just kept going. I took one step at a time, and slowly the buzz, the excitement, and the momentum came. Do you see this? How many of you, when you take a deliberate step, just one step, how many of you see this? I'd love to know. Just chime in, give me some hearts. Have you seen this excitement, this buzz with simply one step? Because sometimes it really is just about continuing to take one step after another. All right, so you guys have all heard at one time or another this phrase: bookings are the lifeline of our business. It's a direct sales business. So let's explain a little bit. Let's talk about what that actually means. Now, I remember being new eons ago, 25 years ago, I remember thinking to myself, and the reason I remember this is because you guys refresh my memory when you're new or you're relaunching or restarting, and you say the same thing, you think the same thing. And I always have to re-navigate you back to not the sale. Because I remember thinking, I hope someone buys this, right? I hope somebody buys a baking stone. I hope people care enough about what I'm selling. And so I think this is a great place today to start, because it's important to understand that bookings, not sales, especially in-home parties, in-home bookings are the key to our business. They really are. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to help you understand the business model of Party Plan, because you hear me talk all the time, guys, we're a party plan. We have to do in-home parties because there's party plans and then there's network marketing. Now, being in a party plan, that's where I say the most important part are in-home bookings. It's where everything is geared. I mean, if you think and go back and look at our comp plan, the revenue that Lemongrass puts in it, it's all geared around your success with your in-home parties. I mean, your first 3 parties when a new consultant starts or when I help you relaunch or restart, it's about those 3 in-home parties. And there's a lot of party plan companies like us out there. And listen, they will tell you they will tell you the exact same thing. The magic happens when you're in someone's home. Now, there's also that social media-based strategy, those virtual parties, but that's typically defined in network marketing. Because with network marketing, like a Rodan and Fields, they don't have a party plan model at all. They have no host rewards. While, again, we are both selling a product, absolutely. The goal with network marketing is this. You use the products, you like the product, and then you become a member, subscriber, representative, etc. But it's not geared around a host and her friends experiencing the products before they buy. I mean, who wouldn't want to have that experience? And that's what we offer. That, and listen, there really is a pretty significant difference between these 2 models. And of course, no surprise, I'm partial to the party plan. That's where I was for 21 years, 22 years with Pampered Chef. That's what made me decide when I wanted to leave the field and come to be a full-time trainer with Lemongrass Spa. It was the party plan. I could have gone to any company with my skill set, but I wanted to stay in the party plan. It's what kept me passionate all these 25 years. And listen, that party plan is also that passion, that desire to have everybody come into somebody's home and try it and experience it and hold on to it and, you know, have that in-person experience of standing next to that friend. That's what allowed me really to do over 7,000 in-home parties. Yes, over 7,000. I think it's a brilliant business model. I mean, look at what Lemongrass Spa has to offer. They're helping us build our business with the most generous host shopping experience, right? Kudos, love to Brian and Heidi. I've always felt so good about what I do, what I did, knowing that I'm going into a home and doing a party and meeting new people, all my host friends, right? And think about it. Your host is gracious enough to trust you to come into her home and let you share your products with her friends. And boy, should we appreciate, did I ever appreciate that? Because that's the lifeline. That's the lifeline of our business. But the great thing is that when you're there, you give that host the opportunity to get a ton of free cash and discounted products that she already loves, that she's now not going to have to pay full price for. And you get her friends hooked to become your loyal VIP customers or hosts or new team members. I mean, your host, she's having you in her home because she loves the products just like you do, right? I mean, that's what happens. You transfer that love of your products over to someone else, and she wants to share your love because it's become contagious with her friends. You know, I feel like it's the biggest win-win because you're selling and you're making an income for your family, and you get to give your host all those free products, all those discounts, thanks to Lemongrass Spa, right? So what I want you to do is I want it to resonate with you what Brian and Heidi have accumulated with that host program, that shopping experience that only hosts give. It's a gift. It's a gift the Lemongrass Spa has given to us. So bookings is probably the one thing, guys, that no matter how crazy your life, no matter how crazy your business gets, It's the one thing you have control over. Do you realize that? I remember having my first one-on-one appointment. Oh my gosh. I remember going to that lady's kitchen. We went through her drawers, and based on my recommendation, she purchased something. Oh, I was giddy. I was thinking, oh my goodness, I made a sale, right? And then I went and did a couple of parties. And guys, I quickly learned that, listen, the party plan business model, it's designed to be in front of the most people at one time. I mean, it's not going to serve you very well if you just sell to one person versus what you can offer that one person with our hosting plan, and she gets to include her friends in that experience. I mean, you have someone here earning free and discounted products, and you're in front of 10 or more people and earning income. That is that's like working smarter, not harder, right? And you know what? Parties, I find, can be very therapeutic. I remember having a situation with my older son, and I was at the time feeling discouraged and even maybe what I would call a little depressed. And yet I had a party and my energy seemed to completely turn around at that party. And can any of you relate? Have you had that kind of a day where you found yourself a bit frustrated, maybe a little sad, and you get to that host home and all of a sudden that entire day, poof, it totally evaporates. It disappears. It is therapy. It's one of the favorite parts of what I love about this business. The women and the men that you meet become your friends. And yes, again, there's that push through, because there is a push through to get the bookings. There is, I know that. But guys, it is so worth it. Now, for those leaders that are listening, listen, Jill girl, no one walks away from this business with a full calendar. No one says, you know what? I have a full calendar, but I'm done now. There's a beauty, and I use the word beauty. I don't use it lightly. There's a beauty and understanding in our business that we are all about bookings. There's a magic fix. Everything in this business can be solved by having just one party. It really is true, and it really is magical. Now, for those of you that are on this call or listening to this call that are in our Aspiring Leaders program, you're there because you want to build a team. And in a direct sales model, for your income to really, really go up, it comes to building a team, recruiting people, inviting them to join you, inviting them to come on your team and meet everybody, and training them to be successful, training them so they have a paycheck that they can be proud of. Personally, my favorite part of the job, which was surprising to me, was building a team. Even before I knew that it meant a residual income for me and my family. So if you just want to do this for the fun, just want some fun money, hey, that's great. Everyone does this for different reasons. But however, when we talk about going big time, when you look at that bigger picture, the way is with parties, but with recruiting inside those parties, because guys, you can't do enough parties to make the income that a lot of our leaders are making. And 95%, and you'll hear that number slide back and forth a little bit, but a lot of recruits you add to your team will come from those in-home parties because you have bookings. So do you see how it all comes back to bookings? Yeah, everything in this party plan business comes back to bookings. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Kathy, at my party, I don't want to be pushy, that P word. Oh my gosh. Well, let me ask you something. Do you really think when you invite people to spend time with their friends and having their personal shopping discounted or free, do you think that's really pushy? In fact, I think holding back, I think it can be considered maybe even being a little bit selfish, because if you're worried about being pushy, you might be worried too much about yourself. I mean, we know this to be true. Everyone deserves to have a party with their friends. Now, let's talk about that booking, that one booking. That one booking, believe it or not, just one booking could take you for the next 4 years of your business. It absolutely could, because it's not just that one booking that we're talking about. That one booking will become the next booking, which will become, of course, the next party, which will become the next booking. My favorite part of this business, guys, is that one party, and I've experienced it twice now, moving, can turn your business around. When I moved to Oklahoma, I knew no one. And when I moved to North Carolina, I knew no one. So what did I do? I asked for help. I asked if someone would get some friends together, and I would treat them to, back when I was Pampered Chef, it was to a recipe demonstration. Now with Lemongrass Spa, it's treat them to a facial or a hand spa experience, and we'll do it hands-on. That's the key. People love to do hands-on. You know those wine and painting experiences, right? The reason they're so huge is because it's all hands-on, right? Now, in my previous business, I actually had leaders track their calendar. So this is what they found. They discovered when they would track the calendar for the intense purposes of seeing what that one party did, they said, Kathy, I tracked it, and the one booking I got in the beginning when I started has taken me through years and years. So some of you leaders listening to this, maybe go back and trace and then share it with your team. It will help your team focus on looking for that one booking. Now, have you ever given any thought about how just that one in-home booking can change the course of your business? Have you guys ever thought about that? I would think about that and make sure you are saying, this next booking is going to change the course of my business. And go out and intentionally put that booking on your calendar to have that happen. All right, so let's talk about the day-to-day tactical piece of always looking at your personal calendar. So when you get up in the morning, I want you to think about when you finish your devotions, you finished on whatever you need to do, you land in your office, I want you to open up your calendar. I want you to think about what your monthly goals are. I mean, do you have a monthly booking goal? If it's not where you want it to be, at least 6 weeks out, your energy should always be on your calendar. I know when I talked to Amanda yesterday, the first thing I said is, let's identify the dates you have available and get your calendar open for business. So again, I did this even as a leader because you guys know my story, I always had an 8-party calendar. Now, I have to tell you a secret. That sometimes had me doing 4 parties in a week, but the reason I did that is because then I took the next week off and did some fun things with my family, especially in the summer. And by the way, being able to schedule that way, oh my gosh, it was one of the favorite parts of my job, and I bragged about it, and that's why I think I was such a heavy recruiter, because I was giving others a glimpse into what my life looked like, and it wasn't always normal, right? Okay, so anyway, I would wake up each morning, and I would look 6 weeks out. And if my calendar wasn't there, my energy for the day was on my calendar. It never shifted. It stayed very focused, guys. You know, and even if you don't have a lot of time to give for that day, you really need to remember this. Your personal business will never change as it being the need for your primary focus. That need for your personal business, that need for your personal business should always be your primary focus, no matter what your title is. 6 to 8 weeks out, and you might be thinking, Kathy, because I get this question a lot, you know, did you get a lot of cancellations? Well, you might, of course, because we're in a relationship business, and listen, there are always going to be cancellations and shifting around, right? That's life. But if you're booking 6 weeks out, and if you get a cancellation or reschedule, guys, you have plenty of time to fill that spot. Now, when you're new, that's not going to necessarily be reality, but listen, that's the goal you should be striving for, talk to your leader, set that kind of momentum up. You always want to be moving a lot further out. You might be thinking, because I talk about my success, that I had such a strong in-home party business that I didn't have my calendar fall apart. And every time I think about that, identify those times, I have to laugh because I wish I could say it never happened. But what happens when my calendar would fall apart is, guess what? I was back to making sure, if it happened to slip, that each morning I was waking up and looking at my calendar to see where it was and to see what I needed to do to help it recover. And listen, the reason I'm sharing this with you is, if you had a choice, I want you to think about this for a minute. If you had a choice of getting up in the morning and having to make calls and going on social media to get bookings, or you have a party coming up tomorrow night, and because your calendar is full and you're going to use that calendar to refill any cancellations or any reschedules, which one would you choose? I know which one you choose. Every one of you is going to choose to have a full calendar and not have to spend time reaching out for bookings. I mean, wouldn't you rather do an extra party each month and make an extra couple $100 versus sitting on the phone or being behind your computer and trying to get bookings? Now, what happened when I started out, and this might be some something new to you guys as far as a tip or technique. I wanted to have 8 parties, and so what I had to do is I had to book 10 and sometimes even 12, depending on the time of month, the weather. So when I was new, I thought to myself, okay, because I was working full time, and this is when I was really starting to build a business, right? Not when I started, but when I was realizing that I wanted to build this as a business. So I thought to myself, gosh, what if I book 10 and I only want to do 8 and I have to hold all 10? Oh my goodness. I'm thinking, what happens, right? Well, I soon learned that that was a great problem to have. Because I can guarantee you'll always be happier with an overfilled calendar than an underfilled calendar. That flow of being overly busy is a really, really good flow, really good goal to have. Now, let's say your goal is 4, right? Well, then I would strive to book 6 or 7. And let's say you booked 7 and no one cancels. Let's do something that's Pollyanna, if you will. If you're overly busy and you can't do 7, then oh my goodness, call your upline. I will bet she or someone else that she knows will help you out and do that booking, right? I'll bet so. Listen, guys, does that sound better than looking for a booking? It's a better momentum that you want to have going in your business. There's a cycle in their business, a seasonality factor, and you want to focus on how to prevent being in the low part of that cycle for very long. It happens, I know, but you want to keep a focus on that cycle and make sure you don't have those roller coasters for too often in the business. In the beginning, it's very normal to have that roller coaster. No doubt about it, because you haven't learned how to manage things like bookings, right? You're new. But at the end of the day, it's always better, just keep in mind, to have too many bookings than not enough. So remember, we're always going to focus on the bookings. Now, that means to focus on the bookings, you want to jump over the sale. Yep, you're always going to have sales. Brian and Heidi did not create a product line thinking, I hope these products sell. They do sell, and they sell strong. So I want you to always keep in mind that you should be prepared with a conversation when people are buying, that you can offer them something as a choice rather than pay full price. I want you to be prepared. We do something called a full service checkout, and I actually like to call it a checkout chat. And so during the checkout chat, when somebody comes and you're noticing that they're purchasing separate pieces of the skincare system. Oh my goodness gracious. And that should be a very strong booking conversation you have at your parties. This is what you might want to say. You know what? You don't want to buy that. You want to do a 30-minute facial with your friends because you can get the entire set at 50% off. It's priced at just $45. That is $7.50 for that face cream that you're purchasing. And your friends, they will love the hands-on experience that you're all going to have together. Always jump over the sale. It's going to be unusual. It's not going to feel normal, but I want you guys to promise that you'll try it. Even when you get those notices that somebody wants to buy something from you, I need a refill, I want you to jump over that sale. Now, guys, if you're sitting here listening to this and you're thinking, are you kidding, Kathy? I don't even have a party 2 weeks out. My calendar is empty. Well, I first want to tell you that you're normal. Absolutely. This is not an uncommon thing. It's very rare to start having a flow of 6 to 8 parties. But I'm sharing this idea, these conversations today with you because it should be your goal. So I want you to think about this, your why. Think about why you're doing this in the first place. Is there a bill? Is there something that your family deserves that you know you can give to them with the sales from those parties? I want you to go back to that. Maybe shadow your upline or somebody else's party. I remember with Pampered Chef, I would have maybe 2 team members shadowing me to my parties a lot. And they would come in the car or on the next day if they would drive themselves, and they would say to me, Kathy, now I remember why I love this business. I'm going to go and get busy. It gets the momentum going again when you experience that party experience. So for those of you that are on this call and you're going to start again, why not pretend you're brand new? Remember that excitement? That wasn't a down or sad time, right? Take yourself back to your celebration launch. You know, you should be really, really excited about the fact that we're launching a new spring line and you want to invite others to experience it with you. Take yourself back there mentally, emotionally, and with your heart. Have that party, have that spring sampling with your friends. Treat them to a hand spa, treat them to a facial, charcoal and chocolate, right? Start over with just the basic principles that you've already, chances are, experienced. You can. It's really getting back to that why and getting to that heart tug. Now, it's time to wrap up. So I'd love it if you guys would do a favor for me. I want you to take a few minutes and think about what we've shared today. And in the comments section below, maybe take something that you're going to implement from this call. Maybe even share it, tag someone, maybe tag your leader, tag a peer, and that person, they'll hold you accountable. Just watch, because listen, this is the time your business, it's going to take off, and it's going to take off big. Listen, guys, thanks so much for joining me today. I love having my lunch hour with you. I really wish we could do this every day, but you'd probably get tired of me. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. For those of you that are in our Aspiring Leaders program, we'll see you tonight at 9 p.m. via Zoom. Listen, love you guys so much. Hope this has been helpful. Bye now.